Ooh, welcome, man. Welcome back to the channel, guys. How y'all doing out there, guys? I have a, what is this? I ain't gonna don't even focus on the car, guys. We're gonna focus on the topic, and the topic at hand is heater operation. Okay, yes, guys. We're still in the middle part of winter. Okay, so there is some more cold season to come. It's not over. In fact, we in January, in the middle of January, so we have about at least 2 more months of cold weather, depending on where you at. It's depending on your location. But anyway, people want their heater to be hot, extremely hot. So we're not going to focus on the vehicle. This could apply to any car. All right, heater operation, guys. A couple things. If you're trying to diagnose or figure out why the heater don't work in a particular car, number one thing is you have to make sure the system is full of coolant. And not only that, guys, you have to make sure there's no air pockets. Okay, the system is really full of coolant, air pocket free. All right, and remember, guys, air creates space. You don't want any space in a coolant system. Okay, you need that coolant to be strictly liquid. You need strictly liquid in your cooling system. Okay, in some, if in extreme cases, yes, it can be water, as long as it's some type of liquid. I mean, coolant helps, okay, to transfer heat and all that good stuff. But here we are. This is y'all recognize this engine? It's 3.6 Pentastar. Now, every car, again, we're not going to focus on the engine or the car. We're going to focus on general car heater system. Just about every new modern car these days have a heater core, right? All right, and typically they pretty much all located inside the AC housing, distribution housing. All right, in this case, this is that case. So what I suggest you do now, I have the car towed down, so I can't run it right now. I've done all my preliminary checks. First thing you want to do, or one of the things you want to do, guys, like I say, verify the coolant level and make sure the cooling system is free of air. Now, a couple quick things you can do. What you need to gain access to is the heater hoses. All right, here's my heater hoses right here. It could go either way, one being the inlet and one being the outlet. How you determine that is where the coolant lines end up at. Okay, just say this one coming and going, where's this headed? Back down through here and back down through there. All right, let's try this one going down here, back through here and back through the oil filter adapter housing. Remember, the oil filter adapter housing needs coolant also. Going back down there toward the water pump. Okay, now at any rate, both of these heater hoses should be the same temperature, preferably warm, hot. Okay, so if you grab this, let's say this is the outlet hose. Inlet hose should really be hot. Okay, outlet hose will determine if your heater core is restricted or not. That's bad. That's what you don't want, a restricted heater core. So let's assume this is the inlet. All right, you grab that. If that's nice and hot, whoo, ouch. If that's nice and hot, then you grab the outlet. It should be the same temperature. If it's not, then you likely have a restriction, okay, in the heater core itself. Okay, in some cases you can flush that out, blow it out, do whatever you have to do to make it clear. There should be a clear flow through on the heater core, just like a radiator. Heater core is no more. It's just a simple, small radiator, guys. You think about it. So let's recap. If both your hoses are hot, that means the flow is there. Okay. Now, if your flow is there, your heater should be blowing hot. From there, guys, one could assume that you have a problem with the housing, the distribution center at that point. Okay, remember, guys, there's 3 particular mode door operation on a typical AC distribution housing. You have the mode door, which is hot, cold. You have the mode door, which is, let's say, defrost your face or the floor. You have the blend air door, which is, let's say this is hot and this is cold. You want hot. Your door should be fully in the heat position, and you have the recirc actuator. That will allow you to bring air from the outside or recirculate the air inside. So that door will open and close. Okay, in this case, let's focus on Blend door, not mold door. Mold is, remember, defrost, center, floor. Okay, we're gonna focus on blend air door. Okay, so if these lines are hot, both of them hot to the touch, you likely have a problem in the inside. That's where you need to. Most of the AC housing units now are electronic and on the bus, so you can hook up your scan to and see if you have fault codes in there relating to uh, mold door operation, blend air door operation. You might see a code or blend door stuck or something like that. If that's the case, blend door is likely stuck in the cold position. Even though your heater is doing its job, it's never making it to the passenger compartment. So you would, in essence, come to the shop, complain about your heater don't work. But you, as the mechanic, got to be sharp enough to determine if it's a plumbing side, if the problem is on the plumbing side or the distribution side. Okay, you have to be pretty sharp at determining those two. Okay, now let's go backwards. Okay, inlet hot, outlet not. You know you have a restriction. You got to flush that out and clean that out. Okay, or inlet is not hot. Let's use that scenario. Okay, a lot of things can come into play, guys. Remember, in order, the water pump has to do its job, guys. The water pump, one of the water pump's job is to pump, okay, coolant throughout the coolant system. It is also responsible for pumping coolant through these little 1/4 inch, 3/4 inch heater hoses. All right, so the water pump's not doing its job. All bets are off. You're never going to get a hot heater, guys. That's one way I tend to check the operation of my water pump. Watch this video right here. I did this video about 3 years ago. I mean, it's kind of flawed right now because my language was tarnished and I was just getting into the video recording area. But it makes sense, guys. That is a quick way to check the operation of your water pump. Is to just simply check your heater operation. So that's back up there. Water pump has to be working. Okay, guys. Yes, you cannot speak about heater operation without bringing up the thermostat, guys. That's right, guys. The thermostat is very, very, very. Thermostat is just as important as a water pump when it comes to heater operation. Okay, this thermostat have to remain closed, guys, in order for the coolant to circulate throughout the engine and reach a certain temperature. Okay, if that thermostat is stuck open, your heater would never work because the coolant has no way to do what it's supposed to do. All right, so yes, if you have trouble codes like P0128, that's likely why your heater is not working. You would in essence need a thermostat. Your thermostat is stuck open, so keep an eye. Make sure you do your testing at the thermostat also. Or because it's so inexpensive, just simply replace it, guys. It is extremely inexpensive. You don't want to be worrying about that. There's a maintenance interval change on those anyway that I created myself. All right, so I don't typically wait to get a trouble code to tell me to do a thermostat. I do those on every 30K, on every 30 miles. Okay, so that thermostat is new, so that's why I didn't bother. This car has actually came back. Okay, now they didn't come in for heater operation. They came in for other things, and I think a thermostat was upsold, but the heater don't work, so we're gonna find out why, guys. Now, depending on what kind of car you have, just say the Chrysler 300, they use an oil cooler. Okay, and that coolant goes through that cooler before it goes through the heater line. Just say if there's a restriction in that cooler. In fact, watch this video right here. If there's a restriction in that cooler, you're never going to get flow to the heater core. That comes back down to your inlet hose not being hot. If your inlet hose is not hot, whatever feeds that inlet hose is either restricted or your water pump not working. Now, I'm talking too much, guys. So what I'm going to do, and y'all know I'm not set up to film here, so what I'm about to check, I'm about to disconnect this hose right here. This leads to the heater core, and this hose right here. And I'm going to merely blow through and see, make sure this heater core is not restricted. Some cars have a history. This car in particular has a history of heater core being clogged, partially clogged, and they're not showing, and it can easily affect heater operation. So this is a special case. All bets are off as far as normal heating on this crazy setup here. It's actually the heater core itself. Okay, it's made of special material and it can easily get clogged. So I have some work to do, guys. I don't want this video to be long, but I did want to touch up on basics. We'll call this the basics of heater operation. All right, so I might get back with you guys. Let me take care of some things, and if not, I have to shut this down. We'll talk some more, but let me take care of a few things, guys. All right, stay tuned. All right, guys. That's not a real good surefire way to check for restriction, but it is a quick way. So that's exactly what I did. Now I felt a big. Once I pushed the first time, it didn't come straight out. It was a block. Now, sure, coolant could be trapped in there, but I feel some, and I see little particles coming out of it, guys. So what I'm gonna do, I had to go over to a water hose, and I'm gonna put a water hose in there and just run this and make sure everything flows out freely. And then I'm gonna reverse and go to this side, make sure everything come out freely this way. So I'm gonna leave these off and go drive over to detail. Stick a little, not, you don't want a lot of pressure in this, guys. You don't want to cause any problems. So I'm gonna stick a water hose in here just to make sure however much water going in from the pressure, the same thing should be coming out of here. And then I'm gonna reverse and go this way. And after that, that's my way. There's different ways you can go about doing this, but I just want to see if the heater core is restricted in any way.